Hey guys, everyone coming on here. Guys, I'm live. This is Marc Mero, and I'm a little early tonight, but I got a lot of questions that you guys have wrote to me, and oh, it's not even working. Okay, let's see. Cancel. Okay, go here. Let me go here. Beautiful. Watching. Okay, let me go to. Let's see here. Okay. Was it working? Okay. Okay, I guess I am live. Okay, I didn't even know if I was on or not. All right. All right, guys, I'm looking around trying to figure this out. I haven't done a lot of Facebook Live, so I hope to do a lot more with you guys. But anyways, I got so many amazing questions for you guys. So, until we get a bunch of people on here, I want to start answering some of the questions that already came in. And I'm going to start out with some of the wrestling questions, okay? Now, one of the questions that I asked you guys too was, which character did you enjoy the most? I played 3 characters in wrestling. There was Johnny B. Bad, there was Wildman Marc Mero, and Marvelous Marc Mero. Overwhelmingly, you guys liked Johnny B. Bad the best. And and then you asked me which one I enjoyed the best, and I got to tell you something. I mean, I have no regrets. I enjoyed all 3 characters, but there was nothing like being Johnny B. Bad. And I'll tell you why I like Johnny B. Bad so much. It was such an outrageous, flamboyant character. I mean, where else can you go? I'm so outrageous, it's contagious. I don't sit down, I get down. I'm a bad man. And I got that from my mentor, Dusty Rhodes. Dusty Rhodes is the one that picked me for wrestling to play this character, Johnny B. Bad. He created the character, and I used to have the most fun with Dusty Rhodes before the matches because he would teach me how to become Johnny B. Bad. And watching him play Johnny B. Bad, with the mannerisms that he had and stuff, was such a time in my life I will never forget. I mean, he was just a blessing in my life. And, I often think, where I would be today if it wasn't for Dusty Rhodes. Man, just an amazing guy, and I miss him so much. So anyways, let me get on with some of the questions that you guys have asked me, okay? Simon Williams said, did those big slams hurt? It's funny because when you're out there wrestling, you don't really feel anything. I mean, it's like your adrenaline is pumping and it's just intense. Now, the next day, that's a different story. But I don't know too many wrestlers that, have been in the business a long time that haven't had a lot of surgeries. I've had 14. I mean, a total reconstruction of my knee. I had 5 elbow surgeries, reattached my bicep. I had 5 shoulder surgeries. So I've had a lot of different surgeries, and anybody that's been in the business also has had a lot of injuries. People say, well, isn't wrestling fake? Gravity is real. So let me get on. J.D. Varnell said, what were your best working moments working with Sable back in the WWE back in 96, 97? Now, many of you know that Sable was my wife. We were married for 10 years. And to bring your wife into wrestling, it was an amazing time because I think the best memory I have from that era was WrestleMania. We wrestled intergender tag match with it was me and Sable against Goldust and Luna at the Fleet Center in Boston, sold out, WrestleMania. And I don't know, just we won that match. And so to be in WrestleMania with my wife at that time was just an amazing, amazing experience and something I will never forget. Cheryl Field said to me, what was it fun behind the scenes in wrestling? And I know rehearsal, but you can't take away the athletics and hard work behind it. but the winner's new, right? No. Do you have any plans to wrestle again? You know, I gotta say that, you know, I just watched Shaquille O'Neal wrestle last night. Diamond Dallas Page, my good buddy, wrestled not too long ago, you know, and he's older than me. So I want to just say never say never. You never know. You might see Johnny B. Bad out there again, kicking your booty with my tutti frutti. Okay, let's see. Cheryl also asked me, have you any plans to get back in schools at all, or is it all virtually? Our last school event was March of last year because of the pandemic, but we've been doing schools virtually, which, you know, I love inspiring students. I mean, it's, I don't know if you ever say I had a calling in life. I love doing that. Next week, we're speaking to Seminole High School and Bayonet Point Middle School virtually. But I really hope and pray that we're back at schools live for next school year and touring like we used to. We used to average about 230 events a year, and we do those in 10 months, you know, during school season. So it was an incredible schedule we had. But guys, there's no greater joy than helping another person. All right, moving on. Let's see. Mike Walters said, do you have any heat with the Honky Tonk Man due to he didn't want to do the job for you back in WCW? Oh man, that's a funny question. Honky Tonk Man is a great guy. We did an autograph signing not too long ago. And you know, wrestling's very political. People don't realize that behind the scenes, there's a lot of, you know, jockeying for position. There's only, you know, when you really think about it, if you're on television, there's only about 22 spots available for television. So if you're not ready to go, there's 100,000 guys behind you that are. So you know, and some guys looked at losing as lowering their profile in wrestling. I looked at it as you're getting paid a lot of money. You do what you're told. And yeah, we worked it out, you know, at Halloween Havoc. I won by disqualification. He ended up hitting me over the head with his guitar and getting disqualified, where I still won, but he didn't really lose getting pinned. So anyways, but there's no heat. Scott Johnson, which wrestler you had the most in-ring chemistry with? That's a great question. You know, there's some guys I wrestled that I loved working with. Before the matches, they used to put the matches before you. Some nights you didn't know who you were wrestling, and when you got to the arena, they'd have your name up on this like chalkboard and it'd say, you know, Johnny B. Bad versus so-and-so. And whenever you saw your name with someone like Eddie Guerrero, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Triple H, Diamond Dallas Page, Arn Anderson, Ric Flair, guys that were so, just the chemistry was there. It was so easy to work with, and you learned so much from those guys. So those were just some of the guys I really enjoyed wrestling. Let's see. Diana Rose Kennedy said, if you could change anything in your career, would you have done differently and why? You know, I look at my career as kind of my life, you know, the different paths I took in life, you know, good or bad. They all ended me up on a journey to right where I am today. And I couldn't be more blessed, happier, and just fulfilled in life. I'm content. You know, I think the greatest place to be in life is being content. You know, happiness comes and goes. You have up good days, bad days, but being content is the best feeling in the world. And I think I really got to a place in life where I'm really content. So thank you. Tony Hammonds said, is there any opponents you almost had a match with or feud with as Johnny B. Bad that didn't go down or that you wish you would have? You know what? I got to wrestle some of the greats in wrestling because I was in WCW, WWE, TNA, XWF. I was in different leagues and I got to wrestle some of the greatest wrestlers of all time. And, you know, back when I was there, it was the Attitude Era, which is probably one of the greatest eras of professional wrestling. So I got to work with some of the best in the world. One guy that I had a tag team match with that never got to wrestle, or two guys actually, that I had they were tag team partners, but we never got to wrestle in singles matches were Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I would have loved to wrestle those two guys in single matches. I think we would have had really some good matches. Ryan Jones. If you were to step back into the ring, who would be the top 5 opponents you would like to go against? Well, I mean, I guess from my experience, guys that I've wrestled, like I mentioned before, DDP, Eddie Guerrero, Brian Pillman's another one. Great. My gosh, he was one of the best matches I've ever had. Was Fall Brawl against Brian Pillman. You could look it up on Vimeo or YouTube, and that was one of my favorite matches. And I mentioned Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold Steve Austin were some of my favorites to work with, and I would love to go back and wrestle with them. So I want to move on now. I want to talk about, because we got a lot of questions too on our school program and some of the questions that go along with that, because we deal with a lot of people going through a hard time. And guys, as you know, this pandemic has affected all of us, and some of us a lot worse than others. So I'm going to read these couple, just a few of these, and I'm going to try to answer the people that are asking me, scrolling through right now. So if you asked a question that scrolled by already, I can't go back and get it, so you might want to try and ask it again. Let me just go through a couple of these first, okay? Ed Neal Sr. said, I loved all the characters. You were awesome as a wrestler. I think you're even more awesome in what you are doing now. How can we as parents help you with your school program? Well, you know, Ed, the greatest thing a parent can do, obviously, is talk to your administrators, the PTA at your son or daughter's school, principals, and, you know, let them know about our program. You know, you can go to our website, which is pause is POZ.org, thinkpause.org. Have them go to our website. You can see, I mean, we've done thousands of schools now. This is our 15th year. This will be next year will be our 15th year presenting at schools. So, and that's it. And, you know, obviously financially help us any way we can get help financially. It costs a lot of money to fly us to towns all over the country, and hotels and rental cars, and just the cost of doing business and helping others. So that's always a blessing to us. And you can always donate at our website, thinkpause.org. All right, let's go on to Dan Cooper. Dan runs a depression and anxiety group. That's awesome, Dan. And one piece of advice for people struggling with the pandemic and depression at this current time. And that is a great question. You know, guys, we are all in this together. And like I said earlier, that some of us, it's a lot worse than others. It really affected our company because, you know, when here we are doing 230 events a year, March came, my director of operations name is Wendy Adebato. And I remember being on the road and she said, man, we're starting to get a lot of phone calls from people canceling events because they're worried about the pandemic. By the time I got to the office a couple days later, we had cancellations through the rest of the year. And I got to tell you, it's devastating when you love something you do. And many people have lost their jobs and their livelihoods, and then it leads to sometimes broken hearts and broken relationships and things that we've gone through. So it's about reinventing yourself. It's about rebounding. It's about making a comeback, you know. Guys, we couldn't have had a better setback, but now it's time for the comeback. And so what do? We had to reinvent ourselves and do things virtually to inspire students. But depression is something that when I talk to people about that are going through depression, you know, and the one thing I really dislike about people is when people say to someone that is depressed, they say, just get over it, man. You get through it, you know. Man, depression is something you just don't get over. You've got to work through it. And, you know, and be that person that helps the person work through it. Understand that, you know, some people go through depression differently. You know, some people can get over it in a day or two or an hour or whatever. And some people, you know, they're depressed all the time. And they need some people need medication. Some people just need someone to talk to. But guys, I really found that talking about it is probably the most important thing. When you hold something inside, man, it's like a volcano. And sooner or later, the volcano erupts, and then it could erupt into even deeper depression or anxiety or self-harm or even thoughts of not wanting to be here. please, please talk to someone about what you're going through, what you're feeling. And what's really helped me with depression, anxiety, is helping other people. Man, guys, there is no greater joy knowing that we're all in this together. We're all going to get through this together, but helping other people is probably something that's really helped me and made me a happier person. And you know, just knowing that we could all make a difference. Every one of us has that opportunity. Your current trial is your future testimony. So what you're going through now, man, is going to help a lot of people in the future. So just don't give up. Get through it, man. You're going to be okay. We're all going to be okay. Thank you. All right. Christopher Downs. He says, I have ASD, and do you support people with autism? Absolutely. I got to tell you, we do a lot of schools, so we meet a lot of kids that have autism. And man, the thing that breaks my heart is seeing these kids bullied or picked on or mocked in some way. I tell you something, there's nothing makes me more angrier than that. And those are the kids I really gravitate to because my heart goes out to them. But some of them are the most brilliant, amazing. They all have a gift, you know. And I gotta tell you, they're the sweetest, most beautiful, happy people. And if you know or someone has autism, don't make fun of them. Don't mock them. Don't understand that we all have something. Every one of us, you know, everyone has something that maybe they don't want to talk about or they're embarrassed about or whatever. But autism is something that it's amazing because some people are on the high spectrum and can do things that me and you could never even imagine doing. They have a gift, a real gift. All right, let's go move on. Al Arment, great question here. Were you bullied as a kid? How did you deal with it? And how did it make you feel? And how were you able to turn it around? You know, one of the things I talk about is at school. Obviously, we deal with a lot of kids that are bullied or abused in some way. And when I was a young boy, when we lived on the west side of Buffalo, New York, we were very poor. My mom worked 2 jobs, and she bought a lot of our clothes like at garage sales or yard sales. And, you know, you see you're wearing secondhand clothes to school, and sometimes things didn't fit properly, whatever. And I remember getting mocked out. I remember they would call me a bum, which, you know, is a word today that, you know, if even to this day, if I'm with someone and we're going by and they go, oh my God, look at all those bums on the road or something, and it still offends me to this day that we could ever call anybody that name. I would be so embarrassed because I always dreamed of having stuff or nice things. You think that's what's going to make you happy. And, you know, back then, I remember after school ended, I would run home, you know, because I don't want to be around kids that were picking on me or mocking me out. And when I got home, it all ended. The sad part is now fast forward to 2021, where you guys have this thing called the internet, social media, where kids can actually bully or abuse you 24/7. I think that, you know, as bad as I had, and I think that's where my heart goes out to so many of these students that are bullied, and we're seeing depression and the suicide rate just skyrocket now. But the good news is that we can all make a difference. I know how bad I would feel, and that's why my heart goes out to these kids. And every day I'm on social media, emailing or talking with somebody that's going through something, trying to help or be a light in this darkness. And that's what we all can do. We got to be a beacon light in this darkness. So I'm going to end those questions here. I got a bunch more, but I'm going to try to answer some questions right here. I see my buddy Michael Besner is watching, an old friend of mine from years ago, man. Hey, Mike, we got to catch up, man. I got to talk to you on the phone, catch up with you. Okay. Yes, Derek. Yes, we have to be there for our kids. Absolutely. I'm loving on my own, have my family. Okay, some of these are going by so fast. I wonder if I could slow these down or something. You switch to Mark. I'm doing it on my phone here. Let's see. Good to see you, Stephen, James is watching, Phyllis, Pennsylvania, Joe Smith. All right, we got a good group of people on here. Um, yes, I'm still here by God's grace. Amen. Can Johnny B. Bad give me some tanning tips? You know what's so funny about that is back when I was wrestling, I used to tan all the time, so I'd be really dark, and people would think I was African American or black, you know. And it's so funny. Sometimes I'm speaking at schools now, and they'll say, "What characters were you in wrestling?" And I said, "Well, I was Johnny B. Bad." They go, "Johnny B. Bad? That was a black guy." I go, "Well, that was me." Wisconsin in the house. All right. Who's got a question for me? How can I help somebody? Oh, Granny is Pat Byrne. That's my aunt. Did you like him for which do you like better, WCW or WWF? Graduated from Liverpool High School. Go Warriors. You know, I really enjoyed the character better, Johnny B. Bad, but I have no regrets going to the WWE. I always knew I had to go to WWE to wrestle in WrestleMania because WrestleMania was the dance. And to fulfill my career, I've always wanted to go to the dance. The Super Bowl of wrestling was WrestleMania, and I got to do that. Okay. Puerto Rico. Got relatives in Puerto Rico. My Aunt Pat's there. Cousin Molly. All right. How's everybody doing tonight? You guys doing good? Jackson, Ohio. Hey, Matt. My soldier son Patrick is doing great. He's in Fort Hood, Texas. You saved his life. Oh, wow. Thank you so much. You know, I spoke at Fort Benning and Fort Bragg to the soldiers, and we did a presentation on suicide prevention. And, you know, we're losing soldiers every day, and I'm so blessed to know that maybe I helped your son. And, man, there's no greater joy than knowing that something I may have said or did helped him. So thank you. New Jersey. We go to New Jersey quite a bit. Do you have kids that you stay in touch with? Yeah, I have one daughter. And yes, I stay in touch with her. Her birthday is March 8th. So she already got her birthday present. She's going to be coming this summer to stay with me. And I can't wait because she brings my granddaughter, Sophia. And we go to the lake house and we're on the boat and we're going to have a great summer. Let's see. Phyllis, hello. Bob Tucker Jr. I'm alive and have God in my family. That's the way to go. You can't miss out. You know, it's a blessing of life, having God in family. Heading to Milwaukee, Kentucky tomorrow for granddaughter's cheer competition. Well, good luck. All right. And you guys can always private message me. I try to get back to you guys as quick as possible. Check out my YouTube channel. We have a YouTube channel. It's youtube.com, and it's The Marc Mero. Check it out. We have a lot of videos on there. Long Island, man, we're in Long Island a lot for schools. South Carolina, we toured through there. Thank you, Walmart, that put us through a whole tour through South Carolina. Let's see, doing good, went through a recent boutique and anxiety, depression. Your quotes and videos are inspirational. How can I slow these down? Can I slow these down anyway? Wendy, I just missed Wendy. Let me see. What Wendy? How hard was it to negotiate your contract with WWE? You paved the way for others. How hard was it to negotiate my contract? I was actually blessed. I was the first wrestler to get a guaranteed contract in professional wrestling with the WWE. And it's because I had a great run with WCW. I had a guaranteed contract there. And when Vince McMahon called me, I said, I can't come up there unless I get guaranteed money, which I'm thankful I did, because shortly after I got to WWE, I blew out my knee and I was out for 8 months and still got paid that big salary. So I was blessed. Let's see. Who was your toughest opponent? Russ Duda, my toughest opponent? Gosh, there's a few guys that, when you say tough, I mean, there's some tough guys in wrestling, but I mean, guys like Stone Cold Steve Austin, Diamond Dallas Page, you know, just Triple H, guys that were just great workers too, that were tough, you know, tough opponents. Let's see. Low from Montreal. Let's see. Hey, Brenda. Brenda's my friend on Instagram too. Did you ever get offered to work at ECW? No, I was always under contract when ECW was around. What's your thought about the world now and how it's gonna be for people later on? You know, guys, if I could give my worldview, I kind of have my finger on the pulse of what's happening with these young people today in school, because I get a lot of letters of what people are going through. So you kind of got it figured, like where we heading to, you know. But what's so sad is watching our leaders not get along. I mean, how are we going to get things done if we can't work together as a country and solve our problems instead of fighting with each other? You know, that's what's so heartbreaking for people right now, is seeing the political divide we have in this country. And, you know, you just see people taking sides. You see families breaking up or people unfriending because of someone's different political view, you know? I mean, we gotta agree to disagree on certain things, but we can't keep fighting like this, you know? A country divided is going to fall. I hate to bring that into, but. And Brenda wants to know when I'm going to be returning to schools. You know, we're doing virtual events now, like I said, but hopefully next school year, you know, August, September, we'll be back out there in live events again. I really hope so, and just to praying that we can do that. Let's see who else. Okay. Hello, L. Arment. How emotional was it the first time you spoke about your mother's love speech? Wow. You know, it's funny because every time I speak about my mom on stage, it gets emotional. It's really strange now because obviously you have to relive moments in your life if you want to make it authentic. You know, you really want to. I want my heartbreak to be other people's wake-up call. And that's why I talk about my family that passed on. I lost my little brother and sister at 21. My mom was only 58 when she died. I mean, I'm going to be 61. I'm older than my mom was. And my dad died while I was holding him in my arms. So seeing, you know, experiencing these tragedies, it just makes you realize how important relationships are in life. And the mothers, when I speak about my mom, it's always emotional, but it's really strange how emotional it is now because I see how the audience is reacting as I'm talking about it. The tears, the kids that put their arms around each other, hug each other during that part is incredible to watch that from the stage, to see the emotion. I spoke at the FBI convention. Now you're talking like 2,500 FBI agents in the Orange County Civic Center in Orlando, and watching grown men and women just openly weeping. It was very, very powerful. I was just blessed to have the greatest mom. And you know, guys, if you have a mom, a dad, a guardian, brother or sister, don't ever miss the opportunity to say those 3 words. I love you. So important. All right, let's see. Do you know about your YouTube? Yes, didn't know about the YouTube channel. Yeah, check out the YouTube. We got a lot of stuff, a lot of videos on that YouTube, some really good stuff. What was my favorite match of all time in wrestling? I think I mentioned earlier, Brian Pillman Fall Brawl was one of my favorites. Stone Cold Steve Austin, King of the Ring, and many matches with Diamond Dallas Page. We did a lot of pay-per-views together, and we're such good friends, so we also really enjoyed wrestling each other. Can you speak on divorce and staying positive? Lots of people struggle here daily, and you've been through this. Yeah, speak about divorce. You know, guys, it's one of the things that's probably one of the most difficult things for me that I went through. Obviously, divorce is like a death. You know, it's you're in love with this amazing person, and then for things don't work out forever for whatever reason. My last divorce obviously was very difficult because I was on the road all the time. I mean, for the last, 13 years when I was married at that time was, 13 years I was on the road. I got off the road from wrestling after being on the road for 14 years. And I remember thinking, after I retired from wrestling, I would never have to do that again. And then I fell in love with inspirational speaking and helping people and went back on the road. And unfortunately, it wasn't, conducive to my marriage. And, you learn a lot in life. And I really take those mistakes I may have made as learning experiences. Otherwise, they just become another mistake in life. But, I learned a lot. My ex and I are very good friends. We share 2 dogs together, so we're still friends. But we moved on in life, and I believe in love, man. I will fall in love again, and life is good. How's the knee? My knee is good. I had total reconstruction of my knee, medial collateral, meniscus, ACL, all redone. So knee is good. All right. Let me see if I can see. You deserved another IC title run. Also remember the Clash of Champions against Sting. Yes, Sting is, it's so funny, wrestling Sting. I remember I just got into wrestling, and man, I was so green, and wrestling Sting was like such a big deal for me. One of the greatest of all time wrestling. And that's why I've been so blessed to wrestle some of the best out there. Been in the ring with some of the greatest. And so it was a fun career. Wendy just asked me my favorite match of all time. I think I answered that already. It was Brian Pillman Fall Brawl. Will you ever come to Utah? Mark, you are an inspiration. What are your thoughts on AEW? I've been to Utah. We spoke at schools in Utah a few years back. Love it there, man. I went to the Olympic, the former Olympic Training Center, and where they had ski lifts and stuff, and I took the ski lift up. It's one of the videos on my thing that was kind of scary, but anyways, you want to know what I thought of AEW? I am so glad there's an AEW. You got to have competition in wrestling. It brings all the organizations up because they want to put on better matches when there is competition. So it's done nothing but better. It's better for the fans to have competition. When WCW and WWE had those Monday Night Wars, there was the best wrestling ever, man. With the NWO, the Attitude Era, it brought out some of the best matches that's ever been on television. All right, let's see. Did you ever wrestle Lex Luger? Absolutely. That's another guy. I love wrestling Lex Luger. In fact, this belt right there, that's a world television champion. Me and him switched it back and forth 2 or 3 times, So he was fun to wrestle. He was the last person to beat me for the belt. And he's a great guy. Just a great human being. Love Lex Luger. Do you still happen to have any of the Johnny B. Bad capes? No, I don't. I have one robe left, the marvelous Marc Mero robe that's actually being put into a case right now for my memorabilia room. And I have my last outfit I wore for Johnny B. Bad, but I don't have the cape. Let's see. Do you still have Kate? Will Rocco be making an appearance tonight? I'm upstairs. I have this little podcast room upstairs because, I put the background together with some of the wrestling memorabilia. And Rocco's downstairs. Now, the weird thing is that we have these, the staircase that Rocco doesn't like to come up. I wish he would come up here. I'd put him on television. Or on this video, but he's down. So, hey, Rocco, come here, Rock. Maybe he'll come up. If he comes up, I'll put him on TV. Okay, let's see, anything else? Dublin, oh my gosh, I loved going over to Ireland. That was one of my favorite places. We went over there with WCW. I wrestled in Dublin, Ireland. I actually, I was in a pub in Ireland, and this older lady gave me a big hug, and it made the front page of the paper in Dublin, Ireland. I still have a copy of it. let's see, you can, what do you think about Sting take the power bomb last week? That, I seen that, and that looked like it hurt. He hit really hard. And you know, as we get older, your body doesn't take those bumps like they used to when you were younger. But I heard that Sting was fine. I've been doing some yoga with Darby Allin, who was his tag team partner. It was going to be his tag team partner in the big match coming up. But he said that he was fine, so that was good news to hear. Okay, what do you think about Jim Crockett? Yeah, I was very sad to hear about Jim Crockett Jr. passing on the other day. He did so much for our sport, and you know, he's just a guy that Ric Flair wrote something really nice about him, and you know, because he obviously knew much better than I. I came in after he was kind of already gone from wrestling, but Ric Flair had some really nice stuff to say about him. David Hart, I have a question. What do you think we should do about the racism to get it out there more, because we have a lot of issues? You know, we have issues with a lot of things right now. I'm the furthest from a racist, and many of my friends, I don't know anybody that's racist. At least my friends aren't, you know. I'm totally against it. It really bothers me. I have so many friends that are of different religion, different race. You know, one of my closest friends in the world, his name is Tom Day. His dad played on the Buffalo Bills. We grew up together in Buffalo, New York. And he's one of my closest friends to this day. Never looked at whether he was black or white. He was black, I'm white. No one ever cared, you know. I just have a really hard time with people that are racist, judging someone by their religion or their color, their skin. Just very sad, very sad. Okay. Do I minister to other wrestlers who are struggling with heavy life issues? You know, I have, and you know, some of my good friends that are in the industry. I deal a lot with students, their families, people that suffer from everything from depression, anxiety, suicidal thoughts. You know, they're things that I think all of us have stuff. I have stuff. I mean, you know, the amazing thing is that being on that stage is I save a ton of money on therapy because I'm on the stage pouring my heart out all the time. I'm able to talk about issues in life, and I think it helps other people. So you want to be happy? Help someone else become happy. You want to be successful? Help someone else become successful. Giving while you're living, so you're knowing where it's going. Let's see here, let me scroll through these. You helped guide my way. Oh, Greg Charlie Lawtree. Mark, always an inspiration. You help guide my way towards God. Much respect and love from England. Oh, that's beautiful. I think one of my favorite things to know is that maybe someone got a closer relationship with God. You know, obviously at schools we can't talk about religion, but I have a relationship with Christ, and it's the first and foremost most important thing in my life. So anytime I hear someone that got closer to God by maybe something I said or did, or how he shined a light through me somehow, it's the greatest blessing in my life. Have I ever worked with Steamboat? No, I was with Ricky Steamboat. We rode in the car times together, but we never wrestled against each other. And he may have been one of my tag team partners back in WCW. I don't really remember, but I never got to wrestle against him. He's one of the greatest, though. All right, let's see. Well, guys, you know what? I'm probably going to cancel this out here and say goodnight to everybody. There's so many more questions. You guys can always contact me through through Facebook, Instagram. I'm on Twitter. Check out our YouTube channel, youtube.com, the Marc Mero. And I just want to say that close out by saying that keep a positive attitude. Attitude is the most important thing. You know, my life's not perfect, but man, I tell you something, I count my blessings. Every day I wake up, I look up, and I'm so thankful, guys. You know, having people like you in my life, knowing there's people out there that care, knowing that there's people out there that want to help others, it's the greatest joy of my life. But you have to believe that the greatest years of your life are about to happen. You know, like I said earlier, you know, your current trial is your future testimony. And I believe that you're the author of your story. And every day you could write a new page. And those new pages become your new chapters. Overcoming adversity, never giving up, becoming the champion you are destined to be. Don't ever give up. Thank you guys so much for coming on tonight. I'm going to do this more often. I like how you send me the questions beforehand so I could read them before everybody starts getting on here. We got a couple hundred people on here, which is great. So thank you for coming on tonight. And take care, and God bless you. And make sure you tell your mom and dad you love them.